The Hero's Journey, a Guide to Awakening. The hero's journey is a fantastic concept developed by author Joseph Campbell based on universal narratives. So many books and movies use this linear progression as the plot of their storyline. The Lord of the Rings trilogy is a perfect example, and authors like J.R.R. Tolkien lean heavily on this framework for the plot thread. The narrative is very powerful because it contains many metaphors that link directly to the challenges we face in our human lives. In fact, the hero's journey may very well explain the road to awakening and even ascending. We will discuss these powerful metaphors after explaining what the hero's journey is all about. Although it is called a journey, it could also be a test, a discovery, or an ordeal that you have to face. In essence, it is representative of the continual cycle of challenge and transformation in our human lives. To explain the hero's journey, we shall mostly assume that our voyage of discovery is a journey, as the name implies. But as you learn about this amazing concept, let your mind wander as to how it applies to every aspect of the challenges in your life journey. The hero's journey has 12 distinct parts to it and ends where it begins, back at the beginning after a quest of epic proportions. Picture the hero in their ordinary everyday life. Let's call this the ordinary world. This version is the conditioned person that you and I have been taught to be. The version that, for the most part, fits into society, is accepted by society, keeps their head down, works hard, and tries to be a good person by doing the right things. Yet the world continues to disappoint, and the hero is not fulfilled. When the hero begins to feel or think they are not living life on their own terms, and that there must be something more, they will hear the call. Step 2. The call to adventure. In the beginning of any superhero movie, the hero learns about some terrible strife that requires that they leave their ordinary life and head out into the unknown. This might be an event such as a divorce, death of a loved one, loss of a job, or a major illness. It is an event that forces us to move out of our comfort zone, the usual, the normal, and into the unknown. Step 3. Refusal of the call. Of course the resistance is strong. In our human form we fight change. We do this because change presents the unknown, and we do not like heading into something if we don't have any guarantee that it will all work out okay. For many of us, it is just too scary to face our issues. To answer the call, we must have an element of courage, and if we are already using all of our resources just staying afloat in our normal life, we will remain in our ordinary world where we feel safe, even if we don't have everything we want. Eventually, something will come along to push us to answer the call. When we don't answer the call to adventure, we will be left wondering what might have been. Step 4. Meeting with our mentor. Once the hero accepts that he must take the journey, a mentor will always appear. The mentor can take the form of another person, a book, a dream, an apparition that offers us wisdom and insight into what is to come. The mentor will help us understand the purpose of taking the journey in the first place, along with some guidance as to the perils we will face. Step 5. Crossing the first threshold. This is a metaphor for going from the ordinary world into the special world, the unknown. The special world indicates the unconscious. Ultimately, this is the point where the adventure begins and is also the point of no return, and the point where life will never be the same again. This might be getting separated, quitting your job, or going on a journey. Step 6. Test, allies, enemies. In this stage, we are tested while we learn the rules of the new world. We face challenges, enemies, and strife. We must learn new skills to overcome the roadblocks we stumble upon. We must reach deep within to find the courage and the motivation to continue. The most important aspect to understand about this step is that the challenges test us to prepare the hero for the challenges that lie ahead. Step 7. Approach to the innermost cave. This is the stage in the journey where the hero must forge ahead, alone, into the darkness to face the dragon that guards the treasure. You dig down deep within and find the courage to do what must be done, and you push ahead. Normally your biggest fear resides in the inner cave and offers the biggest reward. Step 8. The Ordeal. This is usually the biggest challenge yet, where everything comes to a head and seems like it will completely overwhelm you and consume you, and you will fail. It is the vortex of the storm. The point where you have no idea which way is up and all you want to do is give up. This is the dark night of the soul, and to come out a changed person, you must be reborn as the hero on the other side. We must experience a metaphorical death and resurrection that transforms us from the inside out, granting us some greater understanding to fulfill our destiny. This is the high point of the hero's journey, where everything he or she holds dear is put on the line. This is where we transition from coal to a sparkling diamond under massive pressure. If the hero fails in this step, then death and failure ensue, physically or metaphorically. It is the stage where the hero realizes she or he is not who they thought they were. It is an opportunity to leave the chrysalis and morph into a better version of themselves. Step 9. The Reward. Emerging victorious from the ordeal, the hero receives a reward. The size of the reward is proportional to the size of the ordeal. The reward gives you a much deeper understanding of yourself, allowing you to live a much more meaningful life going forward. Step 10. The Road Back. At this stage, the hero isn't safe yet. The hero realizes that there are still dangers ahead that must be traversed on the road back to the ordinary world. The challenges faced in this stage are the villain within, the inner shadow. At this point, old habits we thought we had laid to rest may resurface, and we will get to face them again with our enhanced hero skills to settle the score completely. Things we thought we had already put to bed may resurface. Step 11. Resurrection. Death and darkness are conquered one more time before they are gone for good. The stakes are at their highest in this stage, and the hero must use all the resources to succeed. This is where our transformation is completed. We are a completely new version of ourselves, forever changed for the better. This could be an ego death, or it could be us going to the edge of our psyche and effecting a major change. This is where we must extract the wisdom we have gained to transcend it all, to push us forward in our self-development. This is where the hero realizes they had the power within them the whole time. Step 12. Return with the treasure. This is where the hero returns to the ordinary world with the treasure or the new understanding, the means necessary to implement change into their daily life and use the lessons of the adventure to heal and change their life and help others do the same. It is important that the hero returns with some treasure from the inner cave, otherwise the hero will be doomed to repeat the adventure until the lesson is finally learned. Many of us get caught in this cycle as we don't take time to assimilate into our lives the wisdom we have gained. It remains only knowledge, lacking the power to make the unconscious conscious, to bring the dark into light. Each time we repeat the adventure, it becomes more perilous and more difficult. In life, the challenge is a metaphor for knowledge, growth and clarity, which ultimately brings an expansive expression of certainty. Although there are 12 distinct parts to the hero's journey, there are 4 main stages of the journey. The call to set out. Our hero, that's you if you've not figured it out yet, is set in their comfort zone when a prompt for change arrives. This prompt for change is typically a quest, a journey of discovery to find a resolution for a critical challenge. Initially, the hero refuses the call and tries to avoid the challenge. This is perhaps because of inertia or an unwillingness to leave the comfort zone. Ultimately, there is a catalyst, perhaps a friend or mentor, or perhaps an event that makes the hero realize that the journey is absolutely necessary. The hero has trepidation because they will leave their comfort zone and venture into the unknown. The ordeal. On the road, our hero will undergo many challenges and ordeals. The journey will be fraught with additional challenges and setbacks. The hero proves his or her worthiness by not only overcoming each of the smaller challenges, but they find a determination they did not know they had, and they begin to understand how strong their inner resolve is. It is a journey of inner discovery as much as a physical external journey. Like life, it seems like the quest is going to get much harder than originally anticipated. Often the challenges and setbacks are due to faulty thinking on the part of the hero. Over time, the hero begins to understand this, and in order to achieve the quest, first has to fix himself or herself by slaying the inner dragon, by undoing faulty thinking or undoing false conditioning. Of particular interest is the split in the areas of the known world versus the unknown world. It is clear that when we sit in our comfort zone, we are rarely challenged, and certainly do not achieve the level of growth that we would if a journey of sorts is undertaken. Of course, the journey might be an actual journey, but this typically is a metaphor for an unusual challenge you undertake. The revelation. Although difficult and at times not certain, the hero eventually overcomes the challenge. For instance, slaying the dragon, or metaphorical dragon. Many revelations unfold, and the hero goes through enormous growth. The return journey. The return is mostly triumphant. After all, you have survived a fantastic ordeal, slayed the dragon, and won amazing treasure. But it is tinged with sadness. You have this new knowledge. How best to share it with the world? The world has not had the benefit of your experience and undergone the growth you have achieved. You find it hard initially to fit in with the world because you are now aware of a better world. If I think back to how my life unfolded, the best stories I have are where things did not go to plan. If everything goes to plan, then you really don't have much to discuss. Where I was challenged, or where there was danger, or where there was tribulation, that's where the growth and success became apparent. If you were born and had never left your house, how much growth would you have? We all have to set out on the hero's journey at some stage in our life, or else stagnate within the known world. But do we really have to undergo the hero's journey in order to find revelation? Perhaps. The majority of us follow one of these two paths the majority of the time. Path 1. We ignore the call to action. We prefer inertia. We are afraid of change. The lesson is too painful. We are not brave enough to face the dragons. The dragon is our ego, and the ego will fight viciously to survive. The odds are against you, and only the bravest souls will undertake the journey. Or path 2. We set out reluctantly, full of resistance and doubt. We encounter confusion and pain, and either retreat from the journey or give in because it is just too hard. In which case, your journey is like this diagram. If we do not have the courage to look deep inside our souls and correct our faulty programming, then we do not learn the lesson in this life. In which case we die and are reincarnated with the same life lesson awaiting us. This is what Jesus was alluding to when he explains how we have to be reborn. And of course, the kingdom of heaven resides within you. You only have to slay the dragon that guards the gate to your subconscious mind. Only when we have faced this life's challenges and applied the revelations can we say goodbye to this paradigm. So, the real lesson we face in our human existence is to summon the courage to enter the inner cave, our subconscious mind, and to face the dragon inside us. Failure to do this means living the experience again and again until your lesson is learnt. The lure of the reward should ensure that all of us summon enough courage to set out on what will be your major task in all your lifetimes, to discover that you are everything and you create everything. Your mind projects the hologram of the universe. You create heaven and hell. On your journey, you will travel through hell to get to heaven. As Joseph Campbell wrote, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. The theory of mind. Hypnotists have learned to unlock the secrets of the mind. In hypnotherapy, there is a concept called the theory of mind. There is a stunning coincidence and relevance between the hero's journey and the theory of mind. Before I explain it, let's have a look at the theory of mind. This is your brain. Your conscious mind is thought to make up about 5% of your mind. It is responsible for our typical left brain functions of analysis, logic, reasoning, and decision-making. Your subconscious mind is thought to be greater than 90% of your mind. It is responsible for our typical right brain functions and contains our motivation, long-term memories, values, and beliefs. Our mind sees unknowns as danger or pain and avoids this. Initially, when we are born, we operate primarily out of our subconscious minds, which is why kids are so literal and learn through playing. Over time, we learn that people do not mean what they say, and we get rejected, and we start to develop a critical barrier between our conscious and subconscious minds. Our mind develops this as a protection so that we are less suggestible and hope to avoid being tricked, disappointed, or taken advantage of or rejected. This critical filter is used by the mind to subject any new information to a test. Where the conscious mind rejects it, it will be negated by the filter. In order to hypnotize someone, a hypnotist will cross this barrier and work directly with the subconscious mind. This is the way they teach a smoker to stop smoking, for instance. Because the subconscious is exponentially more powerful than the conscious, they reprogram the subconscious mind. Whatever the subconscious mind believes is what will be created. This is your homeostasis, the sum of all your beliefs, programming, and values. But there is yet another piece of the mind, your unconscious mind or amygdala. This is your lizard brain, which is primarily responsible for your survival, fight or flight, as well as all your autonomic functions such as breathing and your heartbeat. This is where the fear lives within us. We can see from this that the primary ordeal in the hero's journey takes place in our primitive mind, the amygdala, the seat of fear and attack. Now compare this theory of mind diagram with the hero's journey. The parallel between theory of mind and the hero's journey is just amazing. Our conscious mind is the known, and it fears the unknown. The conscious mind convinces you how scary the unknown is in order to survive. The biggest revelation we will ever have is when we understand that it is you that creates the fear you experience. To begin with, the amygdala controls us, but then we fight back and take control back. Because once you know the glory and power of the subconscious mind, you will realize how limited and undeveloped the unconscious and conscious minds are. The hero's journey is a journey into the unknown, our subconscious mind, where we face the scariest foe possible, our ego. Once we slay the ego and learn the amazing lesson that all there is love, then we start to awaken and perhaps even to ascend. Metaphors and revelations. The hero's journey is incredibly powerful because of the many and strong metaphors and revelations that we can directly link to the trials and tribulations in our human lives. 1. The initial refusal to undertake the journey might be for a whole host of reasons. Typically, it is resistance to change and/or desire for things to remain the same. In essence, it is fear of the unknown. You cannot break through in the normal world. In a weird twist, only in the unknown can you find yourself. 2. We are reluctant to leave our comfort zone, but it is only outside of this comfort zone that we begin to grow. The sweetest grapes are those that undergo a challenged environment. Heat and pressure create diamonds. Part of the revelation is realizing how badly we are conditioned and starting to undo the negative programming. You are limitless, but you have been taught to be limited. Any breakthrough that you will achieve will be when you are in a state of high discomfort. The greater the discomfort, the bigger the breakthrough. 3. We have an inner resolve we did not know was there. We are stronger than we think. We have everything we need to survive and thrive in this world, but we have been conditioned to think we are less than. We are taught that life is hard and nobody can make it on their own. 4. If we look deep enough inside of ourselves, we have all of the solutions. 5. We believe we are subject to external events. We can only be happy from the effect of external events, but everything we seek is inside of us. 6. Only in the unknown can you find yourself. If everything remains the same, how will you find solutions for all of the usual problems? 7. You cannot break through in the normal world. Only in the fantastic other world can we leave behind our current program and develop something new. Ultimately, this is a journey into our subconscious to undo the faulty programming. This world is full of awe, but whether you see it as awesome or awful is up to you. You create heaven and earth. The kingdom of heaven resides within you. 8. After discovering the first revelation, the hero will undergo a series of trials to test this new knowledge and moral code. The hero will fail some or all of these tests due to the remaining vestiges of resistance in the conscious mind. Over time, this resistance will be overcome, again proving that all good and bad exists within us, and only our thinking creates the duality. 9. Face the fear to receive the reward. It is proof that something good comes out of something bad. Actually, the good and bad exist at the same time. Through growth, we learn to understand they are two sides of the same coin. And ultimately, we train our mind to only look at the good side. 10. There is good and bad in everything. It is how we perceive things and what we choose to focus on that dictates the outcome. We believe to be true what we prefer to be true. The subconscious then creates our truth. We have the ability to only focus on the good. The bad need not exist. 11. Most of us only reach the life-death part. We resurrect and repeat the first part of the journey. This is our standard world model, where we continue to reincarnate until we break through. Most of us only loop the first part of the journey. We never get past the death and rebirth stage. For the brave souls who venture further, they are the ones who achieve awakening. 12. Fear and love are within us. By slaying the monster, fear, we are left only with love. Face the fear to receive the reward. In the normal world, you are relying on an outside entity to come and save you. Part of the revelation is that you realize you are the only one who can rescue you. Although you might have friends and allies, ultimately the only person who can save you is you. You are the hero of your journey. 13. We try to anticipate the future to control our fear of the unexpected, but the treasures of life dwell in the unexpected. Our fear leads us to live a life of less than or not enough. 14. Any revelation is not the end of the journey. The journey home reveals many more revelations as the hero applies the newfound knowledge to new and old situations. The revelation needs to be explored and reinforced. 15. This world is perfect. It is only in our thinking that this world can be evil, competitive, and cutthroat. The world is a mirror of our thinking and the pure state of our mind. As the old adage goes, in order to change the world, you need to change yourself. There is good and bad in everything. It is how we perceive things and what we choose to focus on that dictates the outcome. 16. This world is full of miracles. We can only discover these miracles by venturing into the unknown. The miracles were always there, but we could not see them because of our conditioning and the way the world has programmed us. The revelation is accompanied by several realizations. The normal world is not normal and will never be the same. Everything the hero thought was real is not. This world is full of miracles, but we cannot see them in the normal world. The hero has to unbecome in order to metamorphose into what he or she really is. Would you rather be a caterpillar or a butterfly? 17. When we live in constant fear of death, we are foregoing the freedom to live. 18. For us to undertake a perilous journey, our current life needs to be more painful than the pain of changing. 19. In our current state, we have limited consciousness, perceive what is not real, and cannot perceive what is real. Socrates sums up our limited consciousness and understanding in his allegory of the cave. Plato explains how a group of people who have lived all their lives chained to the wall are facing a blank wall. These prisoners watch shadows projected on the wall from objects passing in front of a fire behind them, and they give names to these shadows. As this is all the prisoners can see, they assume it is the total world. The shadow represents the tiny part of reality that we can perceive through our limited senses. Only when we awaken do we begin to realize how limited our perceptions are, because we base them on our senses. The end of the journey. The hero's journey is indeed a powerful story and clearly shows our before picture, unconscious, programmed and conditioned, and our potential after picture, consciousness, growth and resilience. It is a superb depiction of the war in our minds, our conscious versus subconscious, the good versus bad, heaven versus hell. This is the true war. You are here to overcome yourself. This is the way to awaken. This is probably the map to ascend. So now you have reached the end of your journey, you can put your feet up a while and rest, because your next journey will start sometime in the near future. The hero's journey is not a linear path. It doesn't flow from 1 to 12 and it's done. We can go back and forth between the steps and revisit steps we already thought we completed. It is a cyclic journey that repeats many times over and is a journey within a journey, where each journey itself can form the steps to a higher journey. We are here to grow and evolve. That is what energy does. Like our vibrational universe, it is in constant ebb and flow, back and forth, up and down, left and right. Each step can represent a journey in itself, as the whole represents the journey. The important points to remember on any journey are: everything always works out in the end, and if things haven't yet worked out, it is not yet the end. We are here to experience our limitations and restrictions, and so long as we are in human form, this will be our reality. We are always being called to adventure, and we choose to answer the call or not. Ultimately, we will all have to answer the call eventually. None of us will escape without answering a call or many more. From here on, perhaps you could start to embrace the unknown, seek the unknown, create the unknown, accept the unknown, be the unknown.